Well, guys, I decided to make one more little video. I moved across Canada to move out to where I'm located now, and I had to sell my Panigale V4 and my Monster 1200R just to make the move a little easier. And I know people are probably saying, why would you ever do that? But I didn't want them getting banged up or scratched on the way out, and I thought I might get out of motorcycling for a little while just to try some other things since we're living out close to the mountains and whatnot now. So after riding this bike for a few hundred kilometers now, probably a lot of people are going back and forth, oh, is this bike actually really good, or what does it compare to? Well, I'm going to put a slight comparison on the Monster 1200R. When I bought this bike, my brother, he owns one as well, and he owned the previous one, so he's kind of just gotten into the thing of motorcycling, and he said, oh, let's just buy these, and then we can, they're cheap, fun. And I was like, I don't know, because I'm wanting to have the best of the best, best suspension and electronics and everything else that goes with that. But to be honest, this bike really surprised the hell out of me as far as performance. I originally had put in a bid to get an SP, again, wanting to have the best of what this bike would have had to offer, but the delay in shipping, it wasn't coming in until the end of May, beginning of June. So I decided to go with this one, and I gotta tell you, it is awesome, to be honest. I mean, I had low expectations for this bike, like really low, considering that I rode my brother's other one, and it was kind of, honestly, it was crappy, the old version of this 2020, and but I really liked the look of this bike. I thought it was awesome, so I thought, whatever, it's cheap fun, I can ride this one for a year, and if I don't like it, I'll sell it. And to be honest, even though I had the Monster 1200 and it had Öhlins and better electronics, and yeah, it had a little bit more horsepower, this actually doesn't feel like it has any less horsepower than that bike. It goes like stink. I mean, it doesn't have the same top end. You're probably about 20 kilometers an hour, maybe not even, maybe 15 off the top end of that Monster 1200R. But the torque and the power of this is like on par with that bike. I mean, Yamaha has changed it a little bit from the power band. It's not so much right at the bottom anymore. It feels a little bit more like you got some more top end go to it, I'd say. But I gotta tell you, anybody that's thinking about, oh, should I get the more expensive $20,000 bike, or honestly, after riding this, you really don't need to. I'm super impressed with this bike. I mean, fine, there's a few things that they could have did a little different, like made that display a bit bigger. Everybody likes bigger, but honestly, it does the trick. I mean, it's clear as day, even in the bright sun out here for the last couple of days. It's no big deal. The quick shifter, I know there's been a lot of people on there that have said, oh, it's a little bit laggy and this and that, or it's not. It works flawlessly, up and down, coming off the R1, very similar to that setup. So obviously coming off that bike and putting it on this one was a huge upgrade. It works awesome, up and down, shifts smooth, no lag. It works just as good as the Monster. Exactly the same, if not a little smoother, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't have the Öhlins rear shock like the SP. Was it worth it for me to go and spend $3,000 extra? Probably. I would have liked it. Is it making that much of a difference after riding it? Probably not. It's still got KYB forks in the front, which work amazing compared to the old ones that they had on the 2020. after riding that bike of my brother's, I was just like, oh my God, this is junk. And this works awesome. I don't know. I don't really know what else to say. I mean, the bike looks awesome. Like I said in the first video, it doesn't really do it any justice. These videos, I don't know why, it just doesn't show the shape and contours of the bike properly. It makes it look a little bit bare up here and like right there. But looking at it with, you know, real eyes on it, it looks amazing. I mean, I've always been kind of a Ducati Suzuki guy, riding sport bikes my whole life, and I thought, oh, I'm gonna get on this and hate this bike because it's not gonna be powerful enough. But it does. It goes pretty good. I mean, it sets you back in the seat, and it's a lot of fun to ride. So anybody out there thinking about, oh, should I buy like the Triumph Speed Triple RS? Yeah, that bike's gonna have way more power, and you know, but you're paying $22,000 out the door. This is $12,500 out the door. Ducati Monster, yeah, it's gonna have a little bit more power, but I'd say that these would be probably neck and neck. Probably to about 200 kilometers an hour. I mean, I don't really know what else to say about it. I mean, like, if you have the money, you want to go out and buy the $20,000 bike, yeah, go for it. I think you should give this a try though, and see what you think. At least go test drive one. I think you'd be really shocked, because I was put in my place, you know, of my opinion of this bike. I thought, it's just gonna be junk, but it's awesome. I gotta tell you, I'm really, really surprised, and I don't regret buying it now. You know, a few little mods I'll do, these mirrors and reservoirs and stuff like that, and get the bars anodized black. That would have been a nicer touch. It comes like that on the SP. I said also in my first video, this is under the paint on this model only. All the other models, SP included, it's just a sticker. You know, I bet a lot of guys wondered about that. But, you know, otherwise than, yeah, the Ducati and the Triumph and all that comes with braided lines. This one doesn't, but that's something easily changed on your own. And for $12,500, I mean, even if you spent another grand into the bike doing all the things you wanted to do, you're still only $13,500 versus $22,000 out the door for the other ones. And in comparisons of looks, this bike, it looks awesome. I mean, this video right now showing you that, it does not do that any justice. I mean, there was a lot of controversy of, oh, this headlight's ugly and stuff, but like a lot of people said in their videos, it does grow on you. And as soon as I saw it, I loved it. The other lights look too like grasshoppery or some insect or something. This just looks like a mean ass transformer that is coming down the road to get you. And I don't know. Anybody looking for a bike that's, you know, debating whether this bike is going to be good or not, you know, coming off of sport bikes, 200 plus horsepower, Aprilia, Ducatis. I just wanted to buy a fun bike to ride for the summer, and I honestly got put in my place. And now I know I didn't have to spend the $22,000, which I'm glad I didn't now. You know, I can kind of modify this up in my garage and have a bit of fun doing that. So, but yeah, anyways, this is probably my last video on the bike, but there it is. And hopefully this helps anybody that wants to go out and buy one of these bikes, because it is definitely well worth the money. And one other thing, that tail section, it's got to go. So hopefully somebody comes out with one of these fender eliminator kits soon, because it's just godly. But yeah, well, enjoy, people.